Because here's actually what the truth is. The truth is you have to be healthy first to release weight. I'm going to say that again. You have to be healthy first to release weight. It's not the other way around. Releasing weight does not make us healthy. Us bringing our mind, our body, our nervous system into optimal health, balancing our hormones, working on metabolism in the way that I'm going to share with you today, as well as understanding that gut health is a huge component of this. When you focus on becoming healthy first through all of these different systems, your body will release weight. Welcome back, friends. I'm your host, Shaban, and with each episode, I am honored to be your coaching guide in the journey to make peace with food, fall in love with fitness, and ultimately yourself. My intention in each episode is to help you release the old story of who you are and step into the one you're always meant to be. We'll challenge conventional diet and fitness culture and understand the importance of tuning out all the shoulds they tell us to do and tuning into our own inner wisdom instead. What you focus on, you create more of. Through these conversations, you'll shift your focus from what you're supposed to be doing to who you want to be, so that health and fitness and ease around food is not just what you do, but who you are. And if you find that this conversation resonates with you today, then I want to invite you to join our free Make Peace with Food Facebook community at myfoodfreedomlifestyle.com, where you can connect with me and my team directly and access all the free trainings and resources we have for you so you can regulate your nervous system and make peace with food. And then also remember to share this episode with someone who you think needs to hear this today. The links are in the show notes. All right, now let's get into it. As we start to move forward, one thing that I want you to keep in mind today is that the paradigm that we've been taught about diet and weight loss is completely backwards. We've been taught that if we want to release weight, we have to cut calories, right? If we want to release weight, we have to cut calories. That's part one. Then part two, if we release weight, then we're going to be healthy. And that's why you visit the doctor and they say, you know, you really got to lose weight. You know, you put on 10 pounds, you put on 20 pounds, you really got to lose weight because you've got your high blood pressure and you've got your cholesterol. And I'm going to put you on this medication if you don't lose weight. So if you lose weight, you'll be healthy. And that's what they tell us. As if we need somebody to tell us that. Like as if I've gone to the doctor and I'm not aware that clearly something needs to shift. So thank you so much for informing me. Because here's actually what the truth is. The truth is you have to be healthy first to release weight. I'm going to say that again. You have to be healthy first to release weight. It's not the other way around. Releasing weight does not make us healthy. Us bringing our mind, our body, our nervous system into optimal health, balancing our hormones, working on metabolism in the way that I'm going to share with you today, as well as understanding that gut health is a huge component of this. When you focus on becoming healthy first through all of these different systems, your body will release weight. And that's why no matter how much you've tried, if you've been struggling with your weight and your health for a long time, that's exactly why it hasn't been working. Because you're focused on releasing weight. You're focused on cutting calories. What you're actually doing is you're putting your body in another form of stress. My body is already in such alarm. My nervous system is super activated. We trigger protection mode or sympathetic nervous state anytime we feel unsafe, anytime our body senses a danger. Whether that is physical, whether that's something we see or something we experienced physically, or even that internal self-talk. And today you're going to also learn that you trigger yourself into protection mode through some of the foods that you're consuming and through some of the things that make up your diet. And so you trigger your nervous system to get prepared to fight, to run, to be able to hide if it needs to. And so what happens is this becomes your baseline. The more you trigger your nervous system in this way, this eventually becomes your baseline. And if this is your baseline, your body doesn't even remember what it feels like to feel safe anymore. Because now, when it's the smallest thing that's happening, it's not sending one fire truck, it's sending 10 fire trucks. So when there's that small discussion happening with your kids that turns into a fight, it's no longer a small reaction of anger, it's a huge reaction of anger. Notice how your reaction becomes more and more exaggerated over time. Like it doesn't take very much to trigger you because you're always triggered. So your nervous system doesn't know, should I send out one fire truck or should I send out 30? And then also, should I send out cops? Like, what should I do? Because it's seeing everything as so overwhelming and everything as constantly threatening because it doesn't have that baseline anymore. The baseline now is always alert, survive, danger, unsafety. And so today you're going to learn that your diet is everything that you ingest. I want you to write this down. Your diet is everything that you are ingesting from your environment. It's what you're consuming through your mouth through the form of food. It's what you're watching on TV. It's the shows that you're watching on Netflix. It's the news that you're watching. It's your friends. It's who you're hanging out with. It's how they're making you feel. It's your family. It is your breath. It's the media. Even social media is a part of your diet. Everything that enters your being that you ingest is your diet. That is the true definition of diet. It's not just what you are consuming and how many calories it is, or that it has 100 calories on the packet and it's made out of whole foods and it's also vegan. That's not diet. Diet is everything that you're ingesting, because who I spend time with are going to affect how I think and how I feel, and therefore how I act and how my body feels safe or unsafe. And same thing with what I'm watching on TV, whether that is my favorite shows on Netflix or the news I'm always watching about the state of the world, always making me feel constant fear because we're doomed. All of that is your diet. And I have a hard rule. Like, I don't watch anything on Netflix that makes me have fear or that makes me feel sadness. I just don't. And if I start watching a show and somebody's really ill and going through cancer treatments and things like that, I abort. I stop watching that. I went through that in real life with my mom. I lost her in 2019. I know all that. And I don't need to watch a show to remind me of that. But I love watching things that make me laugh. Right? Think about it when you're watching something and you're just laughing out loud, or it's so light and there's no attachment to it. It's like so non-committal. Like, how does that make you feel? Same thing with the music that you're listening to. If you're always listening to sad music and heartbreaks and just so much pain. And I mean, I grew up in the 90s. So like, imagine all of our music. And guess what? All of my favorite artists somehow passed away because of an overdose or they took their own lives. And that was the conversation. All of that is your diet. And I just want to bring your awareness to this today, because this is going to affect your metabolism. Can you believe it? This is going to affect your metabolism. And like I shared, it's not actually releasing weight that's going to get you healthy. It's you getting yourself healthy that is going to result in weight release. Because remember, like I shared, when we are triggered into protection mode and our nervous system is in fight or flight response, it has one objective. Keep Sherry alive. Do everything it possibly would take to keep her alive. Slow down her metabolism. Give her some sugar cravings. And now this is all happening, remember, because yesterday we spoke about how cortisol now is in the bloodstream. So cortisol always wants access to instant energy, which is in the form of sugar, which is why we have that binge mechanism that gets switched on, that is responsible for all those cravings. And notice also how important it is when we have access to energy, that it must be readily available to the organs that are going to need it. What does that mean? That means when cortisol is high, guess where all of the fat storage is going to be favored around? The midsection. When we are in fight or flight, when we're in protection mode, we're going to see that the majority of our fat stores are going to happen in our midsection so that it's available quickly for the liver, for all the organs that are going to need it to be able to provide instant energy. And the liver is that organ for you. And so again, it's amazing because it's a miracle. And at the same time, if you understand that a lot of your diet has been contributing to getting you into protection mode this whole time, and you learn that you, by continuing to dress your food and continuing to exercise and continue to stress yourself, focusing on releasing weight, what you're actually doing is quite the opposite. You're actually sabotaging everything that you're trying to work for. You're actually keeping yourself stuck in protection mode longer. So when you're in protection mode, your cortisol is high, favoring fat storage, especially around the midsection. Insulin is constantly released to be able to do something about all that blood sugar that's circulating through the body. And insulin, remember, is the storage hormone. So not only is it going to store glycogen in the muscle and in the liver, but everything else that's left over is going to be converted into fat. It's going to keep everything there. It's not going to let any energy escape that tissue. It's actually just going to get you to keep eating more. It is a hoarding hormone. Insulin is your hoarding hormone. And so when you realize that who I hang out with, what I'm watching, what I'm consuming, whether that's through my mouth or through my breath, is going to affect my nervous system, now you actually start to look at your health in a very different way. Your diet now becomes, okay, who do I need to distance myself a little bit from in my life? Who do I need to limit my exposure with? And what do I need to now start watching more of and less of? And I spoke to you about how even physical stress from the foods that you're consuming is triggering your nervous system. So when I'm consuming foods that are full of chemicals and toxins that my body can't recognize, that's creating stress in the body. That's creating a lot of stress. So we don't want to avoid processed food because of the calories and all these things, but I want you to actually think about it in a different way, from a very different perspective. When I consume foods that are high in refined sugars or high in refined carbohydrates that force my pancreas to release so much insulin in a very short amount of time, that's exhausting. Imagine somebody forced you to run on a treadmill all day long and then just kept turning up the speed and then the incline and then bringing it back down and then turning it up, and you'd be exhausted by the end of the day. But that's what we do to our pancreas. That's what we do to our organs. We create physical stress in the body when we're consuming these foods. And that also triggers cortisol to be released from the adrenals. That triggers our nervous system. If I were to consume something toxic and my body feels it, right away it's going to respond to it. How does it respond to it? My nervous system alerts me that there's something going on, and it starts to make these physiological changes in the body. When you are in fight or flight, when you're in protection mode, the digestion turns off. Your digestive system turns off. And it does this so intelligently because of two things. Number one, the priority now is in the muscle tissue. It's in the limbs. It's in your arms. It's your legs. It's your musculature, so that you can run, so that you can hide. Digestion is not important right now. That's why some of us might experience the runs when we're super stressed. Digestion is not important right now. That comes secondary. What is super important right now is that we need to escape. And so all of your energy is going to go to your muscle tissue so that you have access to instant energy. And then the other thing that happens, the reason why when you are in fight or flight or in protection mode, the energy focus shifts away from the digestive system onto the muscle is because your immune system is actually located in the gut. Your immune system is located in the gut. There's a reason for that. I mean, even think of babies. They go through the oral phase where everything is in their mouth, right? They experience life through their mouth orally. And imagine how important it must be to have your immune system right where food and objects enter the body so that there can be a reaction. So if you consume something toxic or something that's gone bad, right away, your immune system can respond to it. It's right there. As soon as the gut feels like there's a threat because I just consumed something that's creating a reaction in the body, whether that's a type of food that doesn't serve me, or that's a processed food, or that's a chemical or a preservative or a color or an additive in the food that I'm not recognizing, or it's GMO, or it's full of pesticides, or there's hormones, and the list goes on and on and on. The moment that my digestive system senses that, my immune system is going to respond, and it's going to start inflammation. It's going to start an inflammatory process. And so that's why when we are in fight or flight, when we're in protection mode, the attention goes away from the digestive system onto the musculature, onto the extremities and the limbs, so that there could be focus for us not only to be able to get ourselves out of real danger if there is one, but also to make that digestive process less important, to be able to free up energy so that we can take action. Two really important things about metabolism and about weight release in general. Okay? Number one, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. The faster it comes off, expect it to come on faster, because what you're releasing at that point is not actual body fat. Body fat is a slow, steady energy, right? It's like the oil lamp that or a candle, it just keeps going. And anything that comes off quickly, that's sugar, that's water, that's muscle tissue. So slow and steady wins the race. That's number one. Number two, another fact that I want you to know, another truth about weight release or metabolism. Number two is, if you've been struggling for a long time, for years or decades, and struggling with something more than 10 pounds or so, because your weight, by the way, is not a number, it's a range. You're not 160 pounds, you're between 158 and 165. That's actually how we really correctly and accurately measure weight. It's not a number. We're always fluctuating. And so if you're always fluctuating greater than 10 pounds and it's been a long struggle, and you're either always on the wagon or off the wagon or on the wagon or off the wagon, I'm going to tell you right now that the reason is it's a nervous system problem. You are in protection mode. Your nervous system is in protection mode. Thanks for listening to this episode. Whether you're already on your wellness journey or just getting started, we're in this together. If this has resonated with you today, I want to invite you to subscribe to the show so you never miss a beat. And if you know someone who could benefit from this conversation, then please share this episode with them. Let's work together to help as many people as possible make peace with food and fall in love with fitness. And also, don't forget to visit myfoodfreedomlifestyle.com to join the free Facebook group for more resources. Remember, you are an inspiration. I can't wait to hear your story. See you next time.